Hey, I would greatly appreciate if you could support me. Simply go to ebay.com, go in the search bar, type in Latrice Limited, click on that, and then support me. I have a wide variety of items on there, many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, such as bath bombs, candles, soaps, essential oil blends, all that. I even got men's ties, comic books, all that. Definitely support me. And now let's get into this video. Chat! Y'all, okay, so we're going to be talking about the whole Carlee Russell police call / press conference that happened today at 2:30 p.m. okay. Y'all, this was very interesting, okay, because this was a crazy story. We're gonna get right into it. So Carlee Russell is the lady who said that she went and was picking up that she went on an interstate in Alabama, Hoover, Alabama, and she seen a 3 or 4 year old toddler on the side of the road and was like, okay, I need to go and, be a good civilian, be a good human out here. And let me go and pull over. And then she ended up getting abducted. Okay. So this was the whole thing. And then people went and did a whole search on her. It was like, oh my God, what happened? Right. And then 2 days later, she appears at her house, and it's like, oh my goodness, what happened? We're going to get into it. Okay. So at this press conference, I think this is the police chief, which, by the way, okay, he's wearing a nice little pink salmon. It wasn't even salmon. It was like a little fuchsia pink. He was looking boom. Okay. So he goes and talks about everything. So this was going on. You got a toddler. She said in a 911 call that the toddler was around 3 to 4 years old. Okay. She said she pulled over. She did not get out the car. The 911 operator asks, okay, are you in a sedan or are you in an SUV? She said, I'm in an SUV. Oh, I mean a sedan. Okay. So then the 911 operator is like, okay, does the kid look harmed? Do they look like they're injured? Says no. And said, okay, is it a boy or girl? Sorry, it says a male or female. Can you tell? Well, I think it's a boy. Okay, so it's a male. All right. What's the race? Is it a white, black, Hispanic? Then she says it's a white boy. Okay. So then the 911 operator asks, okay, so what is the kid wearing? Now, Carlee says a white t-shirt, a diaper, and no shoes. Okay. Y'all. So then she says, so then 911 operator is like, okay, so you have the toddler there, I want you to just keep watch on the toddler while we get the 911 dispatch to this particular area. So then she asks, are there any other cars around or anything like that? And then she goes and says, no, there's no cars around. I'm the only one here. This was surveillance footage from this particular night that this happened, and she has her blinkers on and everything. And this is a major highway with at least 30-40 cars passing by. Apparently there were no other reports to the 911 operators about a toddler being on the side of the road. Okay. So she then tells them, okay, officers are on their way. She then gets off the phone with the 911 operator. So then she goes and calls her brother's girlfriend. Okay. And this is the one that, was saying that she heard Carlee say, oh, are you okay? And then all you hear was background noise, right? So I was like, okay, the guy who's doing this press conference, I don't know, I think this is like the chief, I'm not sure. But he then says that for the time that Carlee was on the phone with them, the 911 operator, she was driving about 600 yards. So 6 football fields, right? Yeah. So you may think, okay, so she's driving 6 football fields. Okay, what's the problem? She's watching a toddler. So while she's on the phone saying, yeah, I see a toddler, this and that, and the third on the side of the road, she is driving the equivalent of 6 football fields. That toddler must be like this. That toddler must be chopping that wind, going like this with his little feet. Because how in the heck are you able to watch? Even if you were going 25-30 miles an hour, just running, okay, to get to this whole distance of 6 football fields, 600 yards, y'all. Okay. Let's continue. So then the 911 the police chief or whatever he is, he says that the Hoover Police Department ended up arriving within 5 minutes. Okay, which is really good, by the way. So what they see in the car is an Apple Watch in the purse, food from Zaziki's, a wig, and a phone that was on the grass near the vehicle. Okay. She has some Target items like snack foods and items that she also took from her job, toilet paper, and nothing was real evidence. So this is what they're saying happened in the totality of things, okay? So they're saying that she left her job, but before she left her job, she stole some toilet tissue and just some other little toiletries from her job because she worked at a spa, okay? Then she went to Zaziki's, even though she told her mom that she was going to some Mediterranean place. But anyway, she went to Zaziki's, got some food, then went to Target, and she went and got some stuff there, some snacks, stuff like that. Chips, probably some Cheez-Its, okay? And did all that. And then this is when she seen the kid, okay? So when they seen her, or when they see her vehicle, they see her red Mercedes with her purse and her Apple Watch just conveniently within her purse, her phone outside, her wig out, okay? But the snacks that she got from Target were all gone. We got the Target footage, okay? That's how they know that that's what she got. That stuff was all gone, and the stuff from Zaziki's was also gone. So your hot food, all your food products are gone, okay? Now we're going to get into what, y'all, we're going to get into what she said happened, okay? So this is what she said happened. She said, as she was seeing if the kid was okay, okay? She said a man came out of a tree and he was said, I'm just checking on the baby. I'm checking on the baby. And then she was like, what? And then he picked her up and she screamed. And he told her, okay, I need you to hop over this. I need you to hop over this fence, okay? So I was talking to my boo, and he was saying it was probably a 6-inch fence, and was like, okay, you need to get over it, okay? I'm thinking it was probably a 3-foot fence. So you need to go and climb over this fence. So my question that I would ask if I was the detective would be this, okay? So what did you do after you got off the fence? Now you may say, well, what do you mean? I got over the fence. Well, if the man also has to get over the fence too, what did you do? Did you wait and be like, okay, I'm gonna wait for you? Yeah. Oh, can you hurry it up so I can hurry up and get abducted? You didn't run, nothing. You just hopped over a fence and waited for him patiently, and then he hopped over the fence too. Okay, so. Okay, so somehow she got over the fence with him, whatever. So then he forced her into a car, and she said he was in an 18-wheeler, which it's a semi truck. Okay, the male apparently was with, and this is all alleged. Okay, the male was apparently with a female, but she never saw her. But she saw the man, obviously. She only heard her. She said the man, which we're thinking is Bozo the Clown, had orange hair and a bald spot in the back, okay? She escaped the 18-wheeler, but then got moments later captured once again, okay? This is all what she said is going on in this story, okay? So this is all what he reported. Everything that I'm saying literally is what he reported. So she ended up escaping and then getting captured once again. She was then blindfolded and not tied up because the capturers did not want to leave impressions / indents on her wrists or her ankles, y'all. So if I'm going to kidnap somebody, you all you got to use is a blindfold. You don't need any zip ties. You're not going to use any towels. You're not going to use your shirt or anything because you're just going to trust that they're just going to stay right there. So this is what I'm thinking. Okay, this is my opinion, allegedly, or whatever. Well, this is my opinion on it. I'm thinking once they saw her, you know what? That's what I'm gonna go in. I gotta interject. So I'm thinking once they saw her, they took her to the hospital and everything, and then they looked at her and they were like, I'm not seeing any marks. Doesn't look like you're really restrained? What's going on? And oh, it's because they didn't put anything on me. Because if you were restrained, you would have bruises on your wrist. You would have bruises on your ankles. You would be bruised up, beat up, because you tried to resist, unless you didn't. Okay. Now let's continue. So then, she says that they took her into a house. Okay. So now she's in some kind of house, and they told her to get undressed. She said that they took pictures of her, even though she's not aware because she had the blindfold on, so she don't know. But that's what she said happened. And she says that they did not have any sexual relations with this woman. Okay. Because she said, I don't remember anything happened. So she's trying to say like she constantly was blacking out through every single, she was only awake for 5 minutes at a time, and that's it. That's what she's trying to say. She was only awake for 5 minutes a day, and she was gone for 2 days, which okay. Sure. She said the next day, after the capture, even though they did not have sexual relations with her, she said that the lady fed her some cheese crackers. People are thinking, okay, these are probably the ones that you got from Target. Okay. Lady also played with her hair, apparently. So apparently she was put back into the vehicle, and she was trying to escape, and she ended up escaping, and she went into the West Hoover area, where she then ran through lots and lots and lots of woods until she finally made it home. Okay. So her injuries in this entire, spectacle that happened were a torn shirt and a little bruised up kind of cut up lip, and that's it. And also $107 in cash in her right sock. Okay. Now here is where it gets a little interesting. This story is already interesting, but this is where it gets even more interesting. Okay. Because then the chief commander dude, with nice suit. Okay. We can call him Suit. This is where Suit then pops up, and he's like, yo, okay, now we're going to go over, our phone evidence. Okay. Because they went and sent this FBI, all of them. They were looking at national security. They were looking at all this. They're like, okay, we may have some serious kidnapper on our hands. Okay. And this is a white neighborhood. We ain't having this. Okay. So let's figure out what's going on. Because you end up finding out that her mama is some successful real estate person. Her dad is like a VP of a bank. Okay. So they got money. That's why they were in that neighborhood, because they got that money. Okay. So they're not trying to have any crimes happening over here. Okay. So we're going to continue to the cell phone data. They said July 11th, 7:30 a.m. She searched. Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? Why would you need to know that? Okay. Mind you, she disappeared on the 13th. So why would you need to know if you have to pay for Amber Alert? I thought Amber Alerts are free. Let me know, but I thought Amber Alerts were free. I didn't think you had to pay for that kind of stuff. We're going to get into it. July 13th at 1:03 a.m. This was the day that she disappeared. She typed in a search, how to take money from a register without being caught. Okay. The same day, but at July 13th at 2:13 a.m. she typed in Birmingham bus station. Same day, July 13th, 2:35 a.m. she typed in Birmingham to Nashville. Okay. July 13th, same day, 12:10 p.m. she looked up the movie Taken with Liam Neeson. Okay. And I love me everything Liam Neeson. I don't care. Even if it's the same kind of movie, I love it. Okay. When he's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna find you. I love that stuff. Okay. So she's trying to get some Liam Neeson. Someone's trying to rescue her. Okay. So then her place of appointment had two searches for Amber Alerts. So while she was at her job, she was looking for Amber Alerts while she was there. Okay. Such as the maximum age, etc. Okay. There's some other information. They said that was more personal, private, that they just did not want to disclose to the public, which, okay, fine, sure. But we're going to keep going. Okay. So it says that they also said that they could not verify most of her initial statement, and she also refuses to be interviewed again. So That's it from the press conference. Of course, they had some other questions here and there, talking about like, okay, she got to pay restitution because you wasted thousands of dollars of manpower, thousands of dollars of just resources, period, when this could have been going to somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's just a couple questions that's going on with this. What was the motive? You had a wealthy family, looks like you live in a really good area. What would be your motive? So people now, this is alleged stuff from that I heard, okay? I heard she was in some kind of love. It's not even a love triangle. It's like a love square, okay? Or I guess rectangle for those who know, okay? Because apparently she was, she wanted to get with some dude or whatever. Then the other dude was like, I'm not digging you. But this other guy was like, I'm digging you. So it could have been something where it was like, okay, I want to kind of make him jealous. Maybe. I don't know. I think that's a bit odd to do that. But people do some odd things nowadays. So people were saying, okay, maybe it's that. It's just, I don't know what your reasoning would be. Now, people are also saying, okay, maybe she could be like schizophrenic or something like that, or maybe she has a mental this seems too calculated. Okay, it just seems too calculated, for you to go and do that kind of stuff. It's like saying if I go and just one day decide to shoot up, just go and shoot up a place or something, and then I say, well, I'm insane. No, I'm telling you right now, I'm not. So that's just a very odd thing. That means it's calculated. That means I planned on doing this and this whole elaborate scheme. And then we get into the red roof, y'all. Okay, because apparently she was staying at the red roof. So her Zakikis or whatever, Zazidis, whatever that stuff was called, that place, whatever they sell, and her Target food and all this other stuff, toiletries, all that stuff just mysteriously disappeared. But they left her phone, and somehow she had $107 still in her sock pocket, and she did not get there was no sexual relations with that woman, and there was no binding, bound and gag or any of that. It was just a blindfold. And then also there was no mention of a weapon, any way, shape or form. No gun, no knife, no chloroform, nothing. So how are you blacking out if you have no injuries? Oh, well, my head hurt. Well, my head was hurting earlier. My neck hurt. That don't mean I got beat up. What does that mean? My head be hurting because of weather changes. That don't mean anything. You got to give me some more proof. My neck was hurting earlier today. It's still hurting a little bit right now. Oh, yeah, it hurts. That doesn't mean I got beat up. Well, my shirt was ripped. My shirt was ripped too. Well, my lip was a little bruised. Oh, no. They said her lip had it wasn't a cut. They said it was like injured or swollen or something. Well, if I eat the wrong thing, my lip gonna get swollen too. You're not really giving me any. I thought this was going to be like a Gone Girl. When I was looking at the press conference, I was like, okay, this may be like, because Gone Girl, I cannot stand that movie because that girl did some vile things up in that movie. To blame the dude and everything. I was like, F this. But I'm like, okay, this may be some Gone Girl stuff. And they're like, no, we don't notice anything. Doesn't seem like she had any kind of sexual assaults happen. Obviously, no physical harm going on with her. So I'm not really sure what's going on. So with all this, I don't know. I would say the girl lying. Okay, she lying. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. She lying because, and they even think that they already know that she lying because they're just like, yeah, she said this, but no evidence has been able to support this. Yeah, she said there was a kid, but no evidence has been able to support this. Yeah, she said that there was a man that took her, but again, no evidence was there to support that. Yeah, she said that she was alone and whatnot, but yeah, we saw that she was not the only car on the side of the road, and she was the only one who went and actually messaged the police, and no one else did because probably wasn't there. But it was just one after the next, and you just seen this guy. He was just like, what? Because all it's going to do is make it for. So when you have legitimate cases that actually go on, all it's going to do is make it much harder for everybody else who have legitimate cases, because people are going to be like, oh, the girl who cried wolf. Oh, well, look at you. Now we got the whole thing as well. And I was, talking to my man about it. And we were talking about, apparently there's this thing that happened in South Korea. Video will be coming out soon for it. And it was this thing happening up in South Korea with this black dude. and he going crazy over there. And we got the girl with the Houston video that I told you about, that she was up in Dubai and she over here yelling it in people's faces. And apparently there's some other video that I saw of her doing some kind of crazy stuff, and she has a history, a pattern of doing this kind of stuff, so it's just like, what are we doing, y'all? And then we got the whole Jussie Smollett thing. Oh, forget it, y'all. We got the whole Jussie Smollett over again. And Jussie, oh my God, I was in Champaign, Illinois, y'all. Okay, which is 2.5 hours or so away from Chicago. I was over there. And I live fucking 40 minutes, an hour away from Chicago. So I know the weather, y'all. Okay. Born and raised in Illinois. I know the weather over there. It was like a record cold. It was like negative 20 to 30 degrees outside, where they were telling people, do not go outside for longer than 5 minutes or you will be at risk of catching a frostbite, because it's that cold. I remember it was so cold there. I'm like, ooh, after 5 minutes, and I got a winter heavy coat on. And then it was also so cold that when you put salt down, the salt wasn't doing anything because it was so cold outside. He gonna say that he went to a hotel, went and got some Subway, then got bleach thrown on him, a noose around his neck, got his tuna sandwich, then went back to the hotel with his tuna sandwich in place, and then said that some white supremacists beat him up and called him gay slurs, and then you find out it was two Nigerian brothers. It's like, what are we doing, y'all? What? I'm not even gonna blame it and that's one thing I hate. I hate when people say like, oh, this person's mentally ill, or oh, they have mental problems. No, you could just be out of your mind and be completely rational with what you were thinking and what you think you want to do. You don't always have to be crazy. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be mentally ill to be doing. It's like saying, if I went and punched somebody in the face, I'm mentally ill, y'all. You can't do anything to me. I'm schizophrenic. I have dissociative identity disorder. I'm bipolar. So that's why I punch you in the face. That's why I could punch anybody in the face. You'd be like, no, you can't. Ain't no wrong with you. It's the same thing with this. Just because you commit a crime does not mean that you automatically are mentally ill. You did that on purpose. Just like these people who be stealing from you up in Wall Street and are they all mentally ill when they know that you need to be using that money to pay your bills and feed yourself? Are they mentally ill at that point? No, it's called greed. And no, it's called you just being an attention seeking person. No, it's called you just are greedy. You just want all the attention. That's what it is. You think you're right, so now you're going to sacrifice other people for it. That's not a mental illness, y'all. So I don't think this girl got that, okay? Because this girl was a hot mess over here lying. I over here believed. I was like, oh yeah, because I've heard some stories. Well, I heard a story. I was watching I keep calling it identification, investigation discovery. I used to love watching that show. But I'm like, okay, so this must be that. This ain't that. This girl was all over the place. And this whole press conference showed it, so that's what people wonder, like, okay, is she gonna have to pay something because she is lying? I would say that she probably would have to pay something, but I don't know really like what that would be. I think she should get jail time just because, you're just lying. You got an elaborate lie that makes no sense. You got Bozo the Clown beating you up. You have to go over a 3-foot fence. And, what are you doing? What are you doing? You got a wig, and who is to say that wig wasn't already in your car? Okay. And I'm going to put them up here or whatnot. This is an amazing podcast. It looks like the person just started or whatnot. But yo, this lady and her, what's her name? Ashanti in 9 or Ashanti at 9, really good. I really like them. Definitely support them because they are killing it over there. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got with this whole thing. That was the press conference, literally everything that was said for it. And of course they had to they had to be unbiased, so they just had to present the information. But you know what we do over here.